Hey guys, it's Will and Chris.
And we're going to talk about visioning.
Yeah, what is visioning, Chris?
Well, it's the act of looking through your eyeballs at the world.
Okay, I think we're going to talk about it a little bit differently than that, aren't we?
We're going to talk about it a little differently and
Maybe
maybe
a
a
little
little bigger.
bigger.
Yeah, bigger is always better.
Bigger is better.
It is better.
Okay,
That's right.
so when we talk about visioning, we're talking about your life vision.
Right. And
Much like, I guess, a corporation has a vision. We hear about people coming up with corporate vision statements.
Exactly.
So this is just applied to us.
Yes, your personal vision. And how you arrive at your personal
Right.
vision is actually thinking about your ideal destination, your ideal you, where you
Your
want
ideal
to be.
life,
Yeah, exactly.
where you want it to end up.
Exactly. And you want to take that huge ideal vision and chop it up into chunks, maybe 2-year, 3-year, even 1-year chunks.
Okay, so we might have a mini vision.
You can have a mini vision.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 5 years, 10 years,
Yeah, that's about
a
right.
lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Absolutely. A favorite quote of yours actually might help get an idea of what visioning is really all about.
well, it is a favorite quote. It's dreaming small is not dreaming at all.
Is that a Dr. Seuss quote?
Well, it sounds like it, but actually there's more to it. And it's actually a Michael Gerber quote. And the rest of it goes, dreaming small, which is what most people do, is really the act of shrinking yourself because it fits your perception of what you know and what you're able to do. There is no imagination in that, and life without imagination is already dead.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of powerful when you actually stop to think about it.
So the people that don't think like I do, basically it says life kind of sucks with no vision.
It just, I think what Michael's saying is that you diminish yourself. And if you believe that there is a seed of greatness in you, I actually personally believe that we all have the potential for greatness, but very few of us realize it for a lot of different reasons. One of them is that they never have the vision that they can, and oftentimes they have beliefs that hold them back from actually realizing that vision. So Michael is basically saying with this quote is that you can create whatever vision you want, but use your imagination, go big. Don't think small, because thinking small is not going to give you a life that's rich in all of its wonders that it could be.
Absolutely. And in an effort to make this something that you can do, we're going to break it down into 4 steps.
What's step 1?
Step 1 is to begin with the end in mind.
Okay, so figure out where you're going.
Right. And
Just like if you were taking a road trip somewhere?
Exactly. Think about taking a road trip with no destination. Now, straight out of college could be kind of cool. Right now, it'd be a little nuts.
Yeah.
You get detoured, you blow a lot of money, you blow a lot of patience. If you just didn't know where you were going. Maybe.
But yeah.
You would wind up at some cool places.
And you'd find some cool places, but you probably wouldn't have the best experience.
Probably.
Because you would just be kind of wandering around kind of aimlessly a little bit.
Right. And most of us, not all of us, we want a little more direction in our life, a little more purpose, and definitely maybe a destination.
Okay.
So beginning with the end in mind,
if
we were to take that concept and I were to throw in a word, reverse engineer.
That's a big word.
It is a big word.
Wow.
Reverse engineering, if I were to ask you a question, Will, can I ask you a question?
Sure, Chris. Ask me a question.
If I were to call you up 3 years from now and I were to ask you what are the milestones you've knocked out that are really important for you to do, what would they be?
That's a good question, Chris.
Would that help you start thinking about that ideal place where you want to go, where you want to be?
Yeah, it actually is kind of hard.
Yeah.
Which I guess is the point, huh?
It is the point.
Okay, so we have to do a little work here. We actually have to project for ourselves and figure out what it is that we want to accomplish. And I guess more importantly, why is that important to us?
Exactly.
Because that's what's going to be driving where we ultimately want to go, is figuring out what it is where we're going to get and why that's important.
Exactly.
I think that ties into our purpose, our just the things that fuel us, the things that drive us, the things that we're passionate about.
Well, let's hold on to that word, passion.
Okay.
So step 2 is basically go big.
Go big.
So
I like that one.
Can you go big with no passion?
Not very easily.
No. So if you were going to go big, if you were going to go really big, you don't want to hold back anything when you're thinking about vision, because this is your ideal you. This is the ideal life. That you
and I mean, U-Factor is all about finding that ideal life.
Right.
So actually, there's a quote that I used to use when I was training for my first Ironman in New Zealand, and to do an Ironman, it was a really big thing at the time. So I had a quote that I kept in front of me that said, "Your dream is not big enough if it doesn't scare you." And so sometimes going big, I think, scares people.
Sure.
But what I wanted to do is I wanted to embrace that fear and push through it. And that was part of the excitement of it. But I think a lot of people get caught up in the fear, and that's why they pull back and they don't go big.
I think it's also human nature that we tend to want to make our visions doable.
Yeah, but what we really get most satisfaction out of, and studies show this, is that we get more satisfaction out of doing something that's bigger and bolder, that stretches us.
Like John F. Kennedy saying, we want to put a person close to the moon.
Yeah,
not as good as on the moon.
Right. What did he say?
I'll put a man, or we'll put a man on the moon.
Right, and that at the time was a big statement.
That was during the time when the Soviet Union was far, far ahead of us, and we could barely keep something in orbit at that point.
Right.
And in short order, we did put someone on the moon.
It was quite a vision, but it brought people together, and that's what a personal vision can do for us. It can kind of bring us to a focus point to figure out where we want to go in life and why that's important, and galvanize our own energy and passion towards that.
And to stimulate the juices about let's flesh out this vision. So let's put some details on this vision. Our step 3 is 3. Our third step is to start asking some very self-reflective, digging questions. Give us a couple examples of this, Will.
You may start with, where do I want my career to go? And even broader than that, where do I want my life to go? What's success mean to me? What's my purpose? What do I really get juiced up about? What do I enjoy? How do I want to make a difference?
Whose lives do I want to impact?
Exactly. All those are great questions that most of us don't take the time to ask ourselves. So we're going to actually give them, when they get to the exercise, a list of great questions that they're going to have to self-reflect on, and we'll talk about more of that later.
Sure. And our last step, our final step, is to rewrite, redo, refine.
It's tweaking. Huh?
It's tweaking.
Yeah, because we don't always get it right the first time. That's the neat thing about self-reflective exercise, and also our own growth. I mean, I think if I asked you where you wanted to go with your life 10 years ago,
it'd be very different.
It'd be very different than what it is now. And so our own experiences and where we evolve to changes over time. And sometimes our vision is going to shift with that.
Right. I also find it helpful if you get some feedback from folks, if you're open to it, because perception of you might be very different than your perception of yourself. And there is a phrase or a catchphrase out there that says your perception is your reality.
It is. Sometimes it can limit us.
And sometimes it can propel us forward.
Absolutely.
Well, we hope this was beneficial, and we look forward to digging a little deeper on our next call.
Great. See you guys.
Yeah, bye.